You're eating healthily, but the body fat does not seem to be coming off. You're looking at yourself in the mirror frustrated because you're not happy with the rate of fat loss progress that you're seeing, or maybe you're just not seeing any fat loss progress at all, yet you've got this health halo where you believe, or maybe you actually are, eating very nutritious foods. Maybe you're eating salads every day. Maybe you're trying to do your best at eating high protein, but the body fat is not leaving. So what's going wrong? Well, let me tell you. I'm gonna have to expose some of these health food companies, because actually a lot of the companies that are telling you that their foods are optimized for fat loss, they're low in sugar, they're low in fat, they are not health foods. They are not. And they're keeping you stuck. Sadly, if you don't know what you don't know, you will be buying these foods, you'll be consuming them, and they are going to be causing the problem, which is keeping you stuck. So by the end of this video, I'm going to give you my fat loss optimization guide for women, which is science-backed. It's what's helped me lose 50 pounds of stubborn body fat for good and keep it off for 7 years. It's what we use to coach our clients, the more than 1,000 women by this point that we have transformed to be finally in a lean, athletic, strong, beautiful physique that they have maintained ever since. So let's talk health foods and where you're going wrong. Just because something is not made with lots of additives or lots of additional sugar does not mean it is a health food. Even if it actually comes from a relatively nutritious whole food, it does not make it a health food. Let's talk nut butters, for example. Nuts are very, very high calorie and high in oils. Yes, they are healthier fats than some of the horrendous oils like canola oil, palm oil that we get in a lot of foods. But ultimately, eating nuts or nut butters in excess is going to mean that you're way over consuming fats. And we do not want that to be the case. Another example of this is granola. Okay, so it's derived from oats, which yes, they are a whole grain, but if we take granola and we add in lots of dehydrated fruits, so you might find granola with certain dried fruits like raisins or sultanas, and then they've added in sugar, and then they've added in nuts, you are getting whole grains, sugar, even extra sugar because they've dehydrated fruit into it, and then also nuts. I think granola can be one of the most calorific things you could possibly eat. But because it comes from what people would class as healthy whole foods, it leaves you consuming so many calories. Fruit juice. It does not count as one of your 5 a day. The benefits of eating fruit is the fact that you get lots of fiber, lots of nutrients in the whole fruit. Yet if you're drinking apple juice or orange juice, like yes, you might be getting some of those nutrients, but you're not getting everything that you need that allows it to be a health food. And also you can very much so easily overconsume fruit juices to the point where you're just drinking tons of calories and your body does not care how healthy the calories are. If you eat too many calories, that's like basically you're putting too much fuel into your body, it's going to overspill. Like imagine putting too much fuel in the tank. What happens? It's going to come blasting out, overspilling everywhere. And that is essentially what happens when your body stores belly fat or just body fat anywhere. It's the fact that you're overshooting, you're having way too many calories, and it does not matter what type of fuel you are putting into that tank, whether it's diesel, petrol, whatever the hell it is. It might be the nicest, the cheapest, whatever. It does not matter. If there's too much, it's going to overspill. And that is the exact same when it comes to your body and losing body fat. Also, let's just take a minute to talk about protein bars, which are like glorified candy bars. Yes, I said it. You will find that protein bars are full of certain types of fiber that are not actually that good for you. So they'll bulk out these protein bars by adding in fiber. They'll also reduce the sugar content by adding in sweeteners. Sweeteners like maltitol, erythritol, they can really cause some bad digestive issues and some gastrointestinal upset. So if you found that maybe you've had quite a lot of sugar-free products before that are full of sweeteners and sugar alcohols, and then you get an upset stomach, that's because it's really not good for your digestive tract. And so you'll find this in diet sodas, protein bars, anything that's basically got some type of artificial sweetener. And I'm not here to say that all artificial sweeteners are bad. That's not the case by any means, but overconsumption of them is bad. And then just lots of foods that have additives that honestly our body does not tolerate well can be harmful. So you're always going to be safest by sticking to whole foods that are found in nature, usually in the way that we find them. That's going to be 70 to 80% of your diet. Then we can have 20 to 30% of your diet, which might be some more indulgent foods, but they will not be overly processed. For instance, it's going to be perhaps better for your digestive tract and even a little bit healthier to have a bar of dark chocolate as opposed to a protein bar, which is full of sugar, alcohols, all these different types of fibers and other additives that we can't even pronounce the name of. Also, when it comes to those sweeteners, just to mention stevia and monk fruit, which again are more natural sweeteners, they don't have such a huge effect when it comes to the spiking of insulin as opposed to these sugar alcohols, which are synthetically manufactured. So you can sense what I'm saying here. We're always wanting to go for foods that don't just have a health label on them, but are kind of just the foods that we would naturally find in nature. This is really important if you're someone that finds themselves feeling bloated a lot of the time and you feel all of this digestive discomfort. Maybe there's gas, maybe there's pain and cramps, maybe you get to the end of the day and your stomach is so sore. You really need to assess what you're eating, because it's probably the case most of the things that you're consuming are out of a box, are out of a packet, and they therefore are not going to be keeping your digestive tract in a happy place. So we want to think about eating lots of probiotic rich foods, lots of prebiotic foods. We also want to make sure that we're eating high protein foods. So what are some examples here? I'm just going to reel off a list. When it comes to your probiotic rich foods, probiotics are healthy gut bacteria that help us to break down fiber from fruits and vegetables. We can eat foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, any fermented vegetables really, tofu, tempeh, certain types of cheeses also are high in probiotics. Kombucha, miso paste, those are great sources of probiotics, and even a good quality probiotic supplement can be very helpful. Prebiotics are the types of fiber that probiotics feed on. You can find prebiotics in foods like leeks, garlic, bananas, mushrooms. But you can kind of sense what I'm saying here, which is the more variety of fruits and veggies that you eat, the better fiber intake you'll get, the slower your food will digest, and therefore your blood sugar levels will remain stable. And if you pair that with a high protein, lean protein serving for each and every one of your meals, you are going to feel fuller for longer, more satiated, less inflammation in the body. And guess what? You are eating health foods because you're eating real foods. And that is the beauty of no longer just listening to what advertising is telling you or these food manufacturing companies are telling you. And let me just let you know one thing, right? When you stop eating all of these processed foods or these pretend health foods, your body stops craving them as much. So if you start eating more whole foods, and then afterwards, maybe you have some natural sugars from fruit, maybe you have a little bit of yogurt and some berries, maybe you have some dark chocolate, you start to eat more naturally sweet foods, you will stop to crave as much of these sugary foods. But also know there's no harm in 1 or 2 diet sodas each day, as long as it doesn't irritate your gastrointestinal tract. But if you can opt for one that's flavored by stevia or monk fruit instead, then do that. Avoid the aspartame, which has actually been linked in several research studies to the development of Alzheimer's if you overconsume. So I'm just telling you, there's a way that we evolved in this world. And the way that we evolved was with more foods that are not overly manufactured in factories and processed to come out as something completely unrecognizable from what went in. So the more that you stick to foods that are simple, whole foods, minimally refined, and if they are refined, that they don't have tons of additives, you will feel so much better and you'll make it so much easier for yourself to lose body fat. If you want to know other foods that we would recommend for you to eat in your diet so that you're not nutrient deficient, that you've got balanced hormones, how to improve your stress management so that we do make sure that your cortisol levels are lower so we can mobilize belly fat even better, lose belly fat faster than ever, not break down muscle tissue, and lots more important, essential fat burning facts for women, then just click in the description box below and I have linked my fat loss optimization guide for women. This is going to change how you see fat loss forever. It's all science backed and it all has worked on every single woman that we have tried and tested it with. So just click in the description box below and hit like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. Catch you in the next one, guys.